Hello everyone, and welcome to another video about Three Houses news. So in today's video, we actually have all of the DLC classes datamined/leaked. So we're going to take a look at that together. I'm just as excited as you guys. I haven't really looked at it in depth yet. I kind of glanced at it very quickly, so let's take a deep dive and I'll give my initial impressions on it. Just to note, this video isn't going to be very heavily edited or anything like that. It's just going to have the bare bones information that you guys are going to want on the classes, so I hope that's okay. I'm working on some other stuff. So yeah, look forward to that. And if anyone doesn't have the DLC, I'm actually running a little bit of a side competition with one of my friends in my community tab on my channel. And one of the things that's happening is I'm going to be giving away one free copy of the Three Houses DLC for anyone who can pick up on the little sort of Easter egg that I've left in one of the thumbnails in the competition. So go there, check that out if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's jump into these classes. First off, we have what seems to be labeled the Trickster Class. A lot of people had wanted this with the release of Anna, so congratulations. Looks like you got exactly what you wanted. This class is an advanced class, as with all the DLC classes. Actually, they are all advanced classes, and it is an infantry class. I'm not going to go too in-depth into class bases unless they're very, very relevant, so we're going to skip those. But in terms of class modifiers, this one has 3 to strength, 3 to speed, 2 to defense, 3 to res, and 1 to movement. In terms of growth, it's got 20% to HP, 15% to dex, 20% to speed, 10% to luck, and 5% to res. I'm going to leave all this information on the screen in case you can't keep up with me talking. Feel free to look at that if you need to, and I'm just going to ramble on here about my opinions and the rest of the things about the class. So next up is the weapon levels that are required for you to get into this class, and they are very simple. It is B in swords and B in faith. So that seems to be a little bit interesting. This looks like a sword and faith hybrid class, and we can definitely see that in the class skills that it has. It's got lock touch, stealth, its mastery skill is desperation, and it gets a heal spell in the spell list. Now, there's some skill ID 238 and spell ID 38 here. I'm not entirely sure what that means. If anyone knows what that means, let me know in the comments below. I don't know if this is sort of a new skill that's going to be unique to the Trickster class that they don't know what it's called, or whatnot, so that'd be interesting. If it does have some new stuff, I would definitely be happy about that. But overall, just to take a quick look at this skill in, this class in general, it seems like it's meant to be somewhat of a parallel to the assassin class, with assassins having bows as its secondary. This one has healing as its secondary. It's got ever so slightly less dex growth, and it has no dex class modifier. It has more strength, though, and more defense and res, so it seems like to be like a little bit slightly tankier assassin class with a little bit more healing utility. I guess it's interesting. I don't know if this is necessarily what we wanted, but I can definitely understand them wanting to give Anna a unique class. Overall, nothing groundbreaking. Nice class. I think it'll have its utility, but I don't know if this is what we wanted, as opposed to the next one, which is the War Monk class. Now, I know this one is a very popular one that everyone wanted. Mainly, people wanted Hilda to be able to punch things. So, you're going to get that. The War Monk, like the previous class, is non-gender locked, so everyone can use it. And that includes females, because previously the Grappler and War Master line were gender locked. So, we've got that unlocked now, which is big for people who wanted that. I'm personally super happy about that, and I know a lot of people will be. In terms of class modifiers, it's got 3 to HP, 2 to strength, 1 to dex, 1 to defense, 1 to res, and 2 to move. This is massive because the Grappler class had 2 to move, and it also had unimpeded movement in forest terrain. I don't know if this is going to have the same thing. I really hope it does, but this makes it almost just on par with the War Master class. Maybe not quite, because War Master gets quick riposte eventually and has much higher growths and class bonuses, but we'll take it. In terms of the requirements to get in, fairly straightforward, B+ in Brawling and C+ in Faith. In terms of the class skills, it's got Fist, Fair, Unarmed Combat, and something called Heal Ability. Not entirely sure what this is. Again, if someone knows what this means, let me know in the comments. And its mastery skill is Terrain Resistance, which is all but useless. It also gets the Heal spell in its spell list automatically for everyone, so even if you can't learn healing, well, now you can. And again, there's that lingering spell ID 38 there, which I have no idea what it means. But hey, if the War Monk class can get its own unique kind of spell, I'd be so down for that. Though I wonder if that spell ID is just the spell ID for heal, since the Trickster class had the same one. I don't know, we'll see. In terms of the class growths, it's got 40% to HP, 10% to strength, 5% to magic, 10% to dexterity, and 5% to res. it is somewhat comparable to the Grappler class, with the main thing being the loss of the 10% to speed. I mean, that could be a differentiating factor. It also doesn't have any speed class modifier bonuses, so this is an inherently slower class. At the same time, if you're using fist weapons, you're getting the double anyways as kind of a brave effect, so I don't know if it's a huge deal. You're just going to miss out on the quad. So overall, still pretty good class. I'm super hyped about this one. I've been definitely wanting to put some of my females into the punching class. I mean, imagine Marianne in this class. She can get sort of her healing as well as some punching down too. I can't remember what her base strength growth was and whether or not she can utilize this, but that would be pretty funny to have Marianne as a war monk. Sort of that shy, reserved girl just smacking the hell out of things with her fists. But I digress. Anyways, let's move on to the next one, which is another super hype one. There's a little bit of a downer, I think, later on, but let's take a look. The next one is the Dark Flier class, which also a ton of people have heavily requested. We have not had a Flying Mage class at all in the game. I personally remember on my Let's Play, I really wanted to make Hubert a Flying Mage class, and well, I still can't do that. The Dark Flying class is unfortunately gender-locked to females only. It sucks, but it's better than nothing, and we're just going to have to deal with it. Maybe they'll give us more advanced classes as DLC in the future. Maybe they'll give us some master classes as DLC in the future. It really is unclear. They haven't announced any of their plans post-Wave 4 yet, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. In terms of its class bonuses, mounted units have this funny thing where they get normal bonuses, and then on top of them they get mounted bonuses. So in terms of the Dark Flyer class, it's got 3 to dexterity, it's got 2 to speed unmounted, and 4 to speed when mounted. It's got 3 to res, and it's got 1 to move when it's unmounted, and 2 to move when it's mounted, which is a total of 3 to move when mounted, which is big, so it's got total of 7 move. In terms of growths, it's got 20% to HP, 10% to speed, 10% to res, and 10% to charm. Nothing too huge, but honestly, I think that since we don't have a speed-based magic class, this is pretty good. Like, I'm happy that we're getting a speed-based magic class. I think we were sorely in need of it. And a magic flying class, albeit advanced and gender-locked, is always welcome. I think Dorothea would really like this. I think Annette would like this a little bit to help bolster that speed up a little bit, especially the +4 to bonus from the advanced class modifier. I think that's really good. Let's look at the requirements to get into it. You only need B+ in Reason and C in Flying, which is pretty reasonable. If you're training Reason, then you probably got that. One thing to note here, I know everyone's going to be like, oh my god, I can make Lysithea a flying class. That'll be great. And I don't think you can, and I'll explain why. So the class skills it has here are Canto and Black Tome Fair. I don't know whether or not this means that you can only use Reason magic in this class, or whether or not Reason is the only thing that gets a boost. I'm inclined to think it's the latter, since Warlock is the same thing. It's got Black Tome Fair, but you can still use dark magic there. So maybe you can still use her here. It's just not going to be as effective as having her as a Dark Knight, for example, which is slightly annoying, but then again, does she really need the fair when she's shelling out massive amounts of damage? Probably not. Its mastery art is Triangle Attack, which is, I guess, pretty cool. If you want to have 3 Dark Flyers running around and activating Triangle Attack, great. And the mastery skill is Defiant Magic, which is terrible. Defiant skills in this game are so bad, so I'm kind of a little bit sad to see this. On the other hand, it actually has some spells that it gets here, and I think it's really, really good that this class gets Thoron. So again, in the case of Lysithea and maybe Edelgard as well, you will get access to Thunder and Thoron as part of the class. I think Edelgard actually excels here because she does also have some Reason magic, so this might be a really, really good class to put Edelgard in. Overall, I think this is an amazing class. I think a lot of people wanted this, and I think they gave us exactly what we wanted. Well, maybe not exactly, since it is gender-locked to female only. But, you know, we can't have everything, and I'm happy enough with this as it is. Moving on to the next class, it is the Valkyrie class, and this one is a little bit less hype, especially following up on the Warmonk class and the Dark Flyer class. This one seems to be a magic-focused mounted advanced class unit. It's got a +1 to HP, +4 to magic, +1 to res, +1 to defense, and +2 to move, as well as a -2 to speed when mounted. Its growths are very middling. It's got a 5% to HP, 5% to magic, -5% to speed, 5% to luck, 5% to defense, and 10% to res. So it's got, you know, a growth somewhere along the line in almost every stat except negative to speed, which is something that we have seen consistently across mounted classes. The certification requirements to get into this class are B in Reason and B in Writing. Fairly simple, fairly easy to do. The class skills it has are Canto, Black Magic range +1, and Dark Magic range +1, as well as a mastery skill in Fiendish Blow. This is excellent. I know we can already combine range shenanigans from the skill mastery levels themselves, so you can potentially stack a ton of range on this class. I don't know how Fiendish Blow is going to work. I'm pretty sure it was a mastery skill for the Mage class, or one of the Mage classes, maybe Warlock. So I don't know, is this going to give you 2 Fiendish Blow skills? Can you equip them both at once? I might be remembering incorrectly, but that would be pretty cool if it operates that way. You're going to get an absurd amount of damage output on someone like Lysithea, as well as some massive amounts of range if you combine the magic range +1 here with the magic range +1 you get from your skill mastery with the +2 range that you get from the staff. I forgot what it's called. You guys know what I'm talking about, the one you get from Lawrence's Paralog. Like, this is just going to be able to do probably 7 range of damage and stuff like that. So it's going to be absolutely crazy. It's got Cutting Gale as well as Excalibur on its spell list, so it looks like it's wind-based. And overall, it's a pretty good class. It's mounted, so it's got a lot of movement. And it's a magic class, so it's got a lot of range. So overall, I don't have much to complain about in terms of this class. It seems pretty good. I don't know if this is necessarily what we wanted, but, you know, overall, pretty good. I think 2 of the classes were slam dunks with the Dark Flier class and the War Monk class. I think Trickster is a little bit questionable. I don't know that we needed an Assassin side grade necessarily, but I think this is just specifically for Anna. It's probably going to have her unique outfit. And I think the Valkyrie class, while interesting, is probably a little bit overkill since it is, in my opinion at least, outclassed by the Dark Knight Master class. So a lot of people are just going to transition from that upwards. I'm not entirely sure. Again, this is me just going full-on ramble mode off first impressions. So if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments below. Definitely let me know what your opinions are in the comments below. I'm always looking forward to hearing what people are saying and discussing. I am a little bit disappointed that we didn't get sort of an armored master class or a better sword physical master class to sort of patch up those areas. We also have been seeing a severe lack in lance advance in master classes. The only thing we've got, I think, is Paladin right now and Great Knight that have lance fair. So that's a little bit odd to see. I don't know if they're planning on adding any more waves of DLC, but if this is all we get in classes, I guess it helps, but it doesn't really fill out all the gaps that we needed. Aside from that, I don't know if I have much else to say. I hope you guys are enjoying the game and enjoying the hype around it still, as well as the DLC news that we've been getting. And yeah, if you guys like what I do and you want to support the channel, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It definitely helps, you know, signal boost what I have to say and spread my propaganda if you guys are into that. I'm working on some really exciting projects moving forward that I'm very, very excited to share with you guys. There should be a couple more videos coming out later this week, so look forward to that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.